is Steve Macfeely. I'm the Director of Data and Analytics at the World Health Organization. The panel covered a lot of territory, but nevertheless there was a couple of key points that really shone out for me. One is the importance for international organizations of making data available. This is one of the crucial roles I see for WHO in the future. Secondly was the role of education, how to prepare students in the future for real life situations. That means giving them real messy data to explore with and giving them real skills that they can then use. And I think the last message I would take was really about communication. We can teach everybody all of these skills, but if we cannot communicate the message to the decision makers, then really all of that effort has been for nothing. Data accessibility is an increasingly challenging issue. So let's start with what we call data sovereignty. Who owns the data? So traditionally the model for international organizations is that we get the data from member states and then we put them together, we clean those data and we disseminate them. But increasingly international organizations and national statistical offices are using alternate sources of data. So they're looking at big data, GIS, citizen science data. And this is challenging because a lot of countries feel uncomfortable with the idea that they're losing control of their national statistics. The other big challenge is proprietary data. As companies begin to realize the value of their data, they're now starting to think about data as an asset, as a commercial asset. So now they're keeping the data for themselves, and if they make those data available, they're only making them available at a price. So now data are becoming expensive and often not accessible at all. Like all new projects, it's very hard to anticipate the full potential of any new product because usually with innovation, people will always surprise you and do things that you didn't expect. Nevertheless, the potential that I see now is one, making data sets available to people that wouldn't otherwise have had them, and also putting data sets together. And oftentimes that's a big revelation for people because maybe they haven't thought about contextualizing data in the way that GraphNet now facilitates. That's one huge potential. The other potential, I think, is to build a community around GraphNet. So as members join, if they start sharing their code, if they start sharing their ideas, that's really where innovation will develop. So people come on, they have an idea, but maybe they need some help. And suddenly you build a community. They're sharing other data, they're sharing code, they're sharing ideas, they're sharing analysis. And then really you start to see the real potential of GraphNet. Context is really important for data. You have to understand the data to be able to analyze it properly. So obviously the more local the data, the easier it is someone analyzing it to understand it because they'll see nuance in the data that someone like me who's looking at global data, we won't see that. That's one huge potential. The second is all politics are local. So if you can bring data to the local area, which then brings benefits to the local area, then they see the benefit of using that data and you create a virtuous circle where people then are willing to share their data locally because the decisions made locally are used based on that data and then the benefits come back to the same community.